The Young and the Restless on October 23rd brings plenty of tension, starting with Daniel, who's had enough of Sharon's games. He confronts her, pushing for a confession about Heather's disappearance and the fake argument she claimed happened. Sharon was at Heather's place that night, but Daniel knew there was no fight. He presses her hard, but Sharon sticks to her story, denying any role in framing him or being involved with Heather's fate. Meanwhile, Phyllis is determined to clear Daniel's name and is convinced Sharon is guilty. When she shares her suspicions with Nick, he isn't on board. He believes in letting the justice system handle it, but Phyllis isn't that patient. She's ready to dig up whatever dirt she can on Sharon, even if it means taking some questionable actions. Nick worries Phyllis might go too far, but she won't back down. As Daniel considers Phyllis's theory, he starts to wonder if she might be right. Daniel's dilemma. On Wednesday, Daniel is at his wit's end and confronts Sharon Newman, demanding she confess. He's convinced she's hiding something, especially after she lied to Chance about a fake argument between him and Heather. Sharon was at Heather's apartment, sure, but that fight? Never happened. Daniel's pushing hard, but Sharon refuses to admit anything, denying her involvement in framing him or anything to do with Heather's disappearance. Meanwhile, Phyllis is on a mission of her own. She's determined to prove Sharon is guilty and clear her son's name. When she shares her suspicions with Nick, he's not convinced. Nick tells her to trust the justice system, but Phyllis isn't about to sit back and wait. She's ready to dig up whatever she can, no matter how shady things might get. Nick's worried about how far Phyllis will go, but she doesn't care, she'll do whatever it takes to protect Daniel. As the pressure mounts, Daniel starts wondering if Phyllis might be onto something. Could Sharon really be behind all this? He's not sure, but he's definitely not ruling it out. And with Phyllis plotting her next move, Sharon better watch her back. She may think she's in the clear, but Phyllis isn't giving up anytime soon. Will Phyllis find the proof she's looking for, or will Sharon manage to keep her secrets hidden? The Young and the Restless spoilers. Lily's plan seduces Adam for Chancellor. Now Lily's hands are tied. Sure, Jill's supporting her as it seems, but with Victor still pulling the strings, there's just so much Lily can do. But she'll not give up so easily. She wants that CEO spot in Chancellor, and now she may see an opening with Adam. Everyone knows Adam's gone rogue one too many times, so Lily could think seducing Ada is the right thing to do. Especially since Adam's already working for Victor and doing something he doesn't want to do, she may think it'll be easy to flip him. And it is true, so much is going on in Adam's life right now. If anyone got wind of his stress, anyone could act on it. With his romantic life even more in shambles, Lily giving him support would totally make for the perfect scheme to make him retaliate and try to take over Chancellor instead. Lily's gamble. It's no secret that Lily's been eyeing that CEO seat at Chancellor for a while now, and even though Jill's on her side, she knows that her power is limited as long as Victor is the one pulling the puppet strings. But Lily isn't the type to sit back and let the cards fall where they may. She's ready to play her hand, and she's got her eye on a surprising wild card, Adam. Now, Adam's always been the unpredictable one in the Newman family, constantly jumping between hero and villain. It's practically his thing at this point. So, Lily's thinking she might have a shot at using that to her advantage. Why not charm him, get him under her spell, and flip the script? After all, Adam's stuck in a situation he doesn't really want to be in. He's vulnerable, and Lily sees that as the perfect opportunity to swoop in. His romantic relationships are basically a revolving door of chaos, which makes him even more susceptible to someone like Lily offering him a shoulder to lean on. Lily knows this, and she's not above using it to her benefit. She knows that by seducing him, she could get him to retaliate against Victor, maybe even push him to make a play for Chancellor himself. It's a risky plan, no doubt about it, but with so many pieces in play, Lily could be setting herself up for the win of a lifetime. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Nick frames Daniel, can't let Sharon go to prison. Sharon's storyline has been dragged for way too long, and it doesn't seem like the writers will make it stop anytime soon. That being said, when the truth comes out, it's possible for Nick to find out first. Now if it were the end, he would do the right thing, confront Sharon, hand her in, and get her the help she needs. But what if Nick steers different direction? What if Nick finds some evidence and realizes Sharon is Heather's murderer? But since Daniel's already in the hot seat, and since he wants to save Sharon and most importantly Faith from heartbreak, what if he decides to secretly help Sharon and frame Daniel even more? It might be a little far-fetched, but it's not entirely impossible. Nick's plan. What if Nick stumbles upon some explosive evidence? It would be a crushing realization, especially knowing the implications this could have on Faith. Normally, in a perfect world, Nick would go by the book. But this isn't a perfect world, is it? Now, instead of following the moral compass we're all used to seeing in him, Nick might just decide to pull a fast one. Daniel's already neck-deep in this mess, with suspicions circling around him like sharks in the water. So why not take advantage of that? What if Nick, driven by a desperate need to shield Sharon, and more importantly, to spare Faith from the emotional wreckage, chooses to let Daniel sink even deeper? The more you think about it, the more it starts making a twisted kind of sense. Nick could set up a plan, one that makes Daniel look guiltier than he already does. Maybe he finds some loose ends in the investigation and tightens them in a way that points right back to Daniel. If Nick really does take this dangerous route, it could backfire in so many ways. Not only would Daniel be unjustly framed for a crime he didn't commit, but the truth always has a funny way of coming out in the end, doesn't it? And when it does, Nick could lose everything, mostly his integrity. There's no telling how far Nick would go to save Sharon from prison, and if this scheme works, it could change everything. But the big question remains, is Nick willing to sacrifice someone else to keep Sharon free, even if it means living with that guilt for the young and the restless spoilers? Daniel pushes Sharon for a confession. The frame-up drama heats up. The young and the restless spoilers reveal that Daniel Romalotti Jr. will give more thought to Phyllis Summers' explosive theory about Sharon Newman being responsible for Heather Stevens' death and the frame-up against him. Initially, Daniel found Phyllis's accusations to be extreme, but she made a compelling case that's starting to sway him. As Daniel reflects on the strange circumstances, he becomes more convinced that Sharon could indeed be guilty. One key detail stands out: Sharon's claim that Heather confided in her about a fight she supposedly had with Daniel. Since Daniel and Heather weren't arguing that night, he finds it suspicious that Sharon would relay that story, particularly since Heather had no reason to share such details with Sharon. Chance Chancellor had previously suggested that Heather might have been hiding something else, but Daniel shot down the idea of a secret lover or any other personal issues. This makes Daniel even more suspicious of Sharon's motives. In the coming episodes, Daniel's doubts about Sharon will grow, and he'll decide to confront her head-on. During the week of October 21st to 25th, Daniel will push Sharon for a confession, demanding answers about her suspicious actions on the night of Heather's death. Daniel may accuse Sharon of staging the scene at Heather's apartment and planting evidence to frame him. He'll also likely question the unsent text on Heather's phone to Paul Williams, which seemed to back up Sharon's claim about a fight. Daniel may suggest that Sharon wrote the text herself, furthering the false narrative that he was responsible for Heather's death. As Daniel accuses Sharon of lying and trying to make him look like the bad guy, he'll urge her to admit the truth and confess her own guilt. However, Sharon won't be willing to come clean and will do everything in her power to keep the blame on Daniel. Based on our predictions, Sharon will scramble to maintain her cover-up as Daniel applies pressure. Phyllis will likely continue digging for proof as well, so the situation could get even messier as the tension builds. The young and the restless spoilers hint that Sharon's attempts to save herself will lead to dramatic confrontation. The young and the restless spoilers, Victor's deal with Devon, Adam's dilemma. Adam isn't giving up on his pursuit of Chelsea, trying to persuade her to get back together. He might even drop Victor's name, claiming even his father thinks they're meant to be. But Chelsea is over it. She's not interested in revisiting the past, insisting that rekindling their romance would be a mistake. Things get complicated when Adam stumbles upon Billy leaving Sally's room after their kiss. Adam's jealousy could explode, but Chelsea might remind him that their exes can do whatever they want. He's just going to have to accept it. Meanwhile, Devon's still upset with how Victor handled things with Lily, but Victor encourages him to focus on making Abby's wedding perfect. Victor insists that putting their differences aside for Abby's sake is the priority. Meanwhile, Nate decides to help Audra, even though she's known for being fiercely independent. Shocking discoveries. Adam is still hung up on Chelsea, trying to convince her to give their relationship another shot. He might even pull out the big guns by mentioning that even Victor thinks they belong together, but Chelsea? She's not budging. She's made it clear that a reunion is a bad idea and isn't going to let Adam sweet-talk her into making the same mistakes again. Meanwhile, Adam could walk right into another mess. Imagine him seeing Billy leaving Sally's room after that heated kiss they shared. If Adam thinks there's something more going on, it's only going to add fuel to his already simmering jealousy. But Chelsea might remind him that their exes are free to do whatever they want now. On the other side, Victor is sticking his nose into Devon's business, giving him some unsolicited advice. Devon's still not thrilled with how Victor handled things with Lily, but there's a wedding to plan. Victor might suggest that Devon focus on making Abby happy instead of holding grudges. After all, keeping the bride happy is what really matters, right? Nate is taking a big risk, too, by helping out Audra, even though she's someone who values her independence. She might appreciate Nate stepping in or see it as overstepping, but if he plays his cards right, this could bring them closer together. And speaking of getting closer, things between Sally and Billy might be heating up, and it looks like they could become an official couple soon. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Adam's vengeful daughter, shocking setup revealed. Do you guys remember Sky? She was married to Adam before she died in 2010, which means as she had her baby before she died, the daughter would be a teenager. Throw in a Sora's and she'd be around 20, the perfect time for her to seek revenge on the man she thinks is responsible for her mother's death. So what if she makes her way to Genoa City? Now I know since Claire's storyline you guys might not want another similar one, but this could be different, you know? Maybe she comes for revenge, but the more she works with Adam, the more she realizes she might be wrong about things. She'll still want to hold on to her grudge, and when she sets a trap, Adam realizes everything and they talk about her mother and how sorry Adam is. After losing his unborn baby with Sally, this new daughter will be everything Adam needs at this point. Adam's new daughter, imagine this, our new mystery girl, with vengeance in her heart, decides to track down her father. She's grown up hearing whispers about the man she believes is responsible for her mother's death. Picture her walking into town, fueled by rage and questions. But hang on a second. As fate would have it, the more time she spends with Adam, the more she starts to see things in a different light. Is it possible that the villain she's been envisioning is actually a misunderstood man with his own tragic past? Now, I know what you might be thinking. Not another revenge story like Claire's. But this twist could take a completely different route. Our fiery young woman might initially have revenge on her mind, but as she digs deeper, she could discover layers of Adam's character that change everything. When the two finally confront each other, things could get emotional. They might find themselves reminiscing about Sky and the pain of loss, leading to some heartfelt apologies from Adam. Just imagine the emotional turmoil brewing in Adam. He's recently dealt with the heartbreak of losing his unborn child with Sally, and now, suddenly, here's this daughter he never knew about. It's like fate is giving him a second chance, a chance to rebuild, reconnect, and perhaps even find solace in the daughter he never got to raise. The Young and the Restless spoilers Phyllis's shocking accusations against Sharon, Daniel's fight for innocence. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Phyllis Summers is about to drop some unsettling news on Nick Newman. As she becomes increasingly convinced that Sharon Newman is responsible for framing Daniel Romalotti Jr. and eliminating Heather Stevens. Phyllis will attempt to convince Nick of Sharon's guilt, but he might find it difficult to believe. Nick, ever the voice of reason, may push Phyllis to trust the justice system and let the authorities handle the investigation. However, Phyllis won't be swayed. Determined to prove Daniel's innocence, Phyllis will make it clear that she's prepared to use any means necessary, even if it means getting her hands dirty. Meanwhile, Daniel will take matters into his own hands and confront Sharon directly, demanding a confession. He'll insist that he had nothing to do with Heather's death and may even suggest that Sharon knows this, but lied to protect herself. Sharon previously told Chance Chancellor that Heather had a heated argument with Daniel before her demise, but Daniel will challenge her version of events, accusing Sharon of fabricating the fight. Although Daniel may start to wonder if Phyllis's theory holds some truth, Sharon will vehemently deny any involvement in the crime, leaving Daniel with no clear answers. As the tension mounts, Daniel will confide in his father, Danny Romalotti, during a video call, admitting that the evidence against him is damning. Daniel's fear of imminent arrest will grow, but with Christine Blair set to return as his attorney, he'll have someone in his corner fighting for justice. Expect Phyllis to continue her relentless pursuit of the truth, which could lead to her using underhanded tactics to catch Sharon off guard. The coming episodes are sure to be filled with confrontations, as Sharon struggles to maintain her innocence. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Sharon's web of lies might start to unravel, and Phyllis could be the one to expose her, setting the stage for intense showdowns and dramatic revelations. Stay tuned as this storyline heats up. Why are spoilers Jack and Diane's secret plan to outsmart Victor? The Young and the Restless fans, brace yourselves if you thought Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott were headed for Splitsville. Think again. It seems the power couple may be playing a long game to trick none other than Victor Newman. And the fun twist, their son Kyle Abbott might be an unwitting pawn in their scheme. Fake fight, real plan. The drama started to escalate when Jack and Diane had an epic public showdown at the athletic club. But something about Jack's over-the-top jabs seemed a little staged. Don't you think it's not exactly Jack's style to drag his marriage problems out in front of an audience, unless, of course, that audience includes Victor Newman? The big question is, did Jack and Diane decide to give Victor the show he's been waiting for to lull him into a false sense of security? Claire Newman, the wild card. Here's where things get interesting. Claire Newman, Victor's granddaughter, has been oddly cozy with the Abbott family, and she even offered to help Jack deal with her devious grandfather. What if Claire is actually in on this whole deception? Claire has already proven she knows how to manipulate the Newman clan, so it wouldn't be a stretch to think she's playing a double agent to assist Jack and Diane. In fact, in the October 17th episode, Claire drew attention to the Jack and Diane drama at Crimson Lights, making sure Victoria Newman and Cole Howard were watching. Coincidence? Not likely. Could Claire be working behind the scenes to sell this so-called crumbling marriage to the Newmans? Kyle caught in the crossfire. Then there's Kyle Abbott, who's been distant from his parents but suddenly seemed rattled by their supposed fight. If Jack and Diane are playing Victor, it stands to reason they're playing Kyle as well. Kyle's emotional reaction could be exactly what they need to pull him back into their circle. By pretending their marriage is falling apart, Jack and Diane could get Kyle to reassess his stance on his parents and potentially soften toward them. Is Diane moving out for real? We've heard that Diane is about to move out of the Abbott mansion, but is this another part of the charade? If they're faking a divorce, Diane's departure from the house would certainly make it seem more convincing. Plus, Kyle might take the bait and start believing that his family really is imploding, only to be swept back into a reconciliation plot later. What's next? This could all be an elaborate ruse designed to trick Victor into thinking he's won. Once Victor is convinced that Jack and Diane's marriage is over, they can strike when he least expects it. But let's not forget, this is Victor Newman we're talking about. Could Jack and Diane really pull one over on him, or will Victor be the one getting the last laugh? As always, the Young and the Restless spoilers promise more twists and turns, so keep an eye out. Jack and Diane's marriage might not be as doomed as it looks, and Victor might be in for a surprise.
Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to check some of our other videos. And we hope to see you again in the next video.
The Young and the Restless spoilers, could Claire or Jordan be behind Heather's death? Now see, I know this doesn't make sense, right? Mean Jordan and Claire have no reason to go after Heather or frame Sharon at all, and in fact, Claire's as innocent as an ant. She's doing great, and she's not even slipped up in any way until now. But I believe I am right when I say that Sharon could not have killed Heather. There's someone else, and right now the only guilty people I see is Jordan and maybe Claire if she is not who she claims to be. Now why is one question that plays a big factor in this case. If not Sharon, why would anyone kill Heather? Even it's just to frame Sharon. And if it is Jordan or Claire or the both of them, why them? This doesn't make sense, I understand, so I don't see it going anywhere, but wouldn't it be fascinating? Shocker. Could Claire or Jordan be involved in Heather's mysterious death? I know, it sounds completely out there, right? I mean, when you think about it, both Jordan and Claire seem like they have zero motive to hurt Heather or even pin the blame on Sharon. In fact, Claire's been like a little ray of sunshine lately, innocent as they come, no slip-ups, no shady behavior. So why are we even questioning her? Could it be possible that Sharon, our beloved resident, is not the killer we all think she is? I mean, I really can't see her committing such a heinous act. There has to be someone else lurking in the shadows. And right now, my gut is telling me that Jordan might be hiding something. Claire, too, what if she's not as innocent as she appears? Now, why would anyone want to eliminate Heather, even if it's just to frame Sharon? What's the end game here? I can't help but wonder what kind of twisted plot might be unfolding behind the scenes. If Jordan is involved, what could possibly drive him to such an extreme? And what about Claire? If she is indeed hiding something, what's her angle? I get it, this whole situation feels a bit convoluted and maybe even unlikely, but that's what makes it so darn intriguing, right? Could you imagine the shockwaves if it turns out Claire or Jordan were behind this?
Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to check some of our other videos. And we hope to see you again in the next video.
Explosive secrets and sudden arrests, a wild ride on the Young and the Restless this week. Diane's bombshell marriage on the rocks, or a clever ruse? In the latest Young and the Restless preview for October 21st to 25th, it looks like Diane Jenkins Abbott is packing her bags and her marriage for a quick exit. When Diane admits to Tracy Abbott that Jack has asked her to move out, Tracy will be left stunned, as will viewers. Jack and Diane seemed rocky recently, but no one expected this kind of crash landing. But let's not be fooled just yet. Is Victor Newman's scheming finally paying off, or are Jack and Diane one step ahead of the game? Their explosive public fight, which had Kyle Abbott and Victor front and center, feels just a little too dramatic to be real. It's possible that Jack and Diane are faking their breakup as part of a larger plan to outwit Victor and make sure everyone, including Kyle, buys the act. Diane's move out is sure to raise suspicions, but is it just for show? With Tracy now involved in the drama, expect her to do what she does best, mediate the mess and try to figure out what's really going on. Heather's case heats up. Will Daniel be arrested? Meanwhile, the other side of Genoa City is sizzling with tension as the Heather Stevens investigation takes a sharp turn. Chance Chancellor and his forensic team will uncover something significant in Daniel Romalotti Jr.'s apartment, adding another twist to the mystery. Could this new evidence point directly at Daniel, or will it send the investigation spiraling in a different direction, possibly toward Sharon Newman? For now, Daniel is bracing for the worst. In a tense video chat with his father Danny Romalotti, Daniel reveals that the evidence is stacked against him and that he's expecting the cops to come knocking on his door any minute. Could we see Daniel hauled off in handcuffs for a crime he didn't commit? Weiner seems to love raising the stakes, so don't be surprised if Daniel's arrest becomes the next big scandal. This could put Phyllis Summers into overdrive, as she's already determined to prove Sharon's involvement. Phyllis is like a dog with a bone when it comes to her vendettas, and this latest development will only make her dig deeper into the mystery. Sharon in the crosshairs. Phyllis won't let up. Sharon better watch her back, because Phyllis Summers is gunning for her. With Phyllis convinced that Sharon has something to hide, expect more tension between these two longtime rivals. Phyllis isn't exactly the most subtle detective, so things could get messy as she ramps up her investigative efforts to protect Daniel and expose Sharon. This week on The Young and the Restless, relationships are strained, secrets bubble to the surface, and arrests seem imminent. Will Jack and Diane's marriage truly implode, or is it all a well-orchestrated act to fool Victor, and will Daniel end up behind bars with Phyllis racing against the clock to save him? Tune in to find out how these dramatic storylines unfold, because things are only going to get crazier in Genoa City.
Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to check some of our other videos. And we hope to see you again in the next video.
The Young and the Restless spoilers, Adam and Audra's shady alliance. Buckle up, Genoa City fans, because things are getting sinister. The latest spoilers suggest there's some major scheming on the horizon, and two of our favorite troublemakers might just join forces in a way that'll shake things up. On the Wednesday, October 16th episode, we got some juicy breadcrumbs about the chaos that could be coming next. It seems both Audra Charles and Adam Newman have their sights set on Victor Newman, and let's be honest, when these two are gunning for someone, things are bound to get messy. First, let's talk about Audra. Normally sharp as a tack, Audra had a rare faceplant moment when she tried to rope Jack Abbott into a plot to take Victor down. She thought Jack might be interested in helping her reclaim Glissade, which would conveniently get Kyle Abbott running back to Jabot. Smart plan, right? Wrong. Jack wasn't having it. In fact, Audra got so flustered that she broke her NDA, confirming Jack's hunch that Victor was the puppet master behind Glissade's secret dealings. Oops. When Audra floated the idea of a partnership, Jack practically laughed her out of the room, letting her know in no uncertain terms that she'd never get Glissade back, and her plans to take Victor down were a pipe dream. Ouch. Meanwhile, across town, Adam Newman wasn't exactly having a banner day either. Victor had the nerve to suggest using him and Newman Media in a scheme to make Jack look bad, and Adam wasn't having it. Sure, he's all in for taking Billy Abbott down a peg or two, but Jack, that's where Adam draws the line. After a heated exchange with dear old dad, Adam stormed out, only to run into Michael Baldwin. Adam was like a dog with a bone, grilling Michael about Victor's latest ploy against Jack. He even called out the shady firing of Audra from Glissade and hinted that Victor was manipulating Kyle to get at Jack. Michael, of course, stayed tight-lipped, but Adam's defense of Audra definitely raised some eyebrows. Now here's where things get interesting. It seems like Y&R could be setting up a devious new duo in the form of Adam and Audra. Audra's obsessed with getting Glissade back, and Adam, well, he's got a lifelong grudge against Victor that's just waiting to bubble over. A partnership to finally teach Victor a lesson, it's looking more and more likely. And let's not forget, Adam and Audra are both single. Sure, Audra's with Nate Hastings, but let's be real, there's no real spark there. As for Adam, there's been no sign of a reunion with Chelsea Lawson anytime soon. Throw in the fact that Audra's recently become BFFs with Adam's ex Sally Spectra, and you've got the makings of some delicious drama. If Audra and Adam team up, whether it's business or something more, it's sure to cause fireworks. Get ready for some sizzling scenes and scheming in Genoa City, because this partnership could spell big trouble for everyone involved.
Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to check some of our other videos. And we hope to see you again in the next video.
The Young and the Restless spoilers: Lucy's panic and Phyllis's past. It's about to get tense on The Young and the Restless. Lucy Romolotti will be hit hard after Daniel Romolotti Jr. drops a bombshell about the incriminating evidence against him. The idea that someone might be framing Daniel for Heather Stevens' death will leave Lucy spiraling into panic mode. With Lucy imagining the worst, she'll be terrified at the thought of Daniel being wrongfully sent to prison. It's already tough enough having lost Heather, but now the fear of losing her dad will push Lucy to the edge. And while Daniel tries to keep a brave face for his daughter, inside he's pretty rattled too. The whole thing feels like a never-ending nightmare that's spiraling out of control. Enter Phyllis Summers, who's never been one to sit back and let chaos reign. Realizing that Lucy is a nervous wreck, Phyllis will decide to take matters into her own hands. She'll sit Lucy down and offer up a distraction only Phyllis could provide: a trip down memory lane filled with wild tales from her colorful past, and boy, does Phyllis have stories to tell. With Friday's episode marking the 30th anniversary of Michelle Stafford's debut as Phyllis, expect a few humorous, outrageous, and heartfelt flashbacks. From her legendary showdowns to jaw-dropping moments, Phyllis will leave Lucy wide-eyed with disbelief and maybe even a few laughs to lighten the mood. Along the way, Phyllis will remind Lucy that she's been through more than her fair share of sticky situations and lived to tell the tale. If there's one thing Phyllis knows how to do, it's getting out of trouble. She'll offer Lucy a glimmer of hope, promising that if anyone can survive this storm, it's Daniel. But knowing Phyllis, she won't stop at comforting stories. Our predictions hint that she'll soon shift gears and start digging for the truth. Phyllis has a hunch that Sharon Newman might be behind Daniel's frame-up, and you know she'll stop at nothing to get to the bottom of it. With Phyllis set to play a pivotal role in Daniel's battle for justice, things are about to get even more intense. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Phyllis has plenty more tricks up her sleeve, so stay tuned for all the drama, bold moves, and shocking twists ahead.
Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to check some of our other videos. and we hope to see you again in the next video.
Deception or divorce, Diane and Jack's marriage crisis on The Young and the Restless. Trouble in Paradise, Diane's shocking confession. It's a bombshell week in Genoa City as Diane Jenkins Abbott drops some disturbing news on Tracy Abbott. After a blowout argument at the athletic club, Diane reveals to Tracy that Jack Abbott has asked her to move out. Wait, what? Tracy, like the rest of us, will be completely floored by this sudden turn of events. After all, Jack and Diane were all smiles not too long ago. What went wrong so fast? Diane will paint a grim picture, suggesting that her marriage is over for good, but is it really as bad as it seems, or is there more to this story? A fake divorce to fool Victor. Victor Newman's been stirring the pot for a while now, making it clear he'd love to see Jack and Diane's marriage crash and burn. Could Jack and Diane be one step ahead, playing a little soap opera chess by staging a fake divorce to throw Victor off their trail? It wouldn't be the first time someone in Genoa City used a little deception to outwit the competition. If this is all part of a plan, Kyle Abbott may be an unwitting pawn in the scheme, believing the charade along with everyone else. Plus, there's chatter that Claire Newman pitched in to help Jack, which only adds to the theory that this could be one big setup. If Diane and Jack are truly scheming, then Diane moving out is key to making their split look legit. Cue the tears and suitcase packing for dramatic effect. Kyle's regrets, second thoughts about his role. Meanwhile, Kyle's emotions are all over the place as he watches his mom pack her bags and seemingly leave the Abbott mansion for good. He's been pushing Jack and Diane to their limits lately, but could this be the wake-up call he needs? Kyle seems to be rethinking how hard he's been on his parents and might even be on the verge of trying to fix the damage he's helped cause. Kyle's got a lot to reflect on, and as he does some soul-searching, we could be witnessing the start of his change of heart. Is Kyle ready to mend fences and maybe even help bring Jack and Diane back together? Victor's influence, the real breakup catalyst. Let's not forget the Victor factor. If Jack and Diane's split isn't part of some master plan, it's possible Victor's meddling has genuinely driven them to the brink of divorce. After all, the man has a history of causing chaos wherever he goes, and his obsession with taking down the Abbotts could be more destructive than even he intended. What's next for Jack and Diane? Whether this is a well-orchestrated deception or a marriage on the rocks, one thing's for sure, there's plenty of drama ahead. Will Diane and Jack manage to pull off their ruse, or has Victor really succeeded in breaking them up for good, and will Kyle's change of heart come in time to save the day? Stay tuned, because The Young and the Restless spoilers hint at more surprises and twists in the weeks ahead.
Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to check some of our other videos. And we hope to see you again in the next video.
The Young and the Restless spoilers. Sharon's fantasy crumbles. Will Nick reject her marriage proposal? Sharon's romantic misfire with Nick. Oh, things aren't looking too good for Sharon Newman on The Young and the Restless. Sharon seems to be living in her own little bubble, convinced that she's rebuilding her future with Nick Newman by her side. But the truth, Nick's just not feeling the same way. He seems content keeping things in the friend zone, but Sharon's got a different narrative in mind. Could it be that she's letting her emotions, and maybe a certain voice in her head, get the best of her? Sharon's bold moves. Is a proposal coming? Why? And her fans know that Sharon isn't exactly thinking clearly these days. Between her sneaky frame-up job on Daniel Romalotti Jr. and her delusions about rekindling a romance with Nick, it's a recipe for disaster. It's only a matter of time before she takes things too far. With Cameron Kirsten whispering in her ear, Sharon might be gearing up for something bold, like popping the question to Nick. Yes, you read that right. As Nick and Sharon continue to grow closer, at least in Sharon's mind, it's possible that Sharon might decide to take the initiative and propose. After all, Devin Hamilton Winters and Abby Newman Abbott's upcoming wedding could have Sharon dreaming about another walk down the aisle with Nick. But could her big, romantic gesture end in heartbreak? Nick's inevitable rejection. Spoilers suggest that if Sharon does decide to propose, Nick might have to gently shut her down. Sure, Nick loves Sharon, he always will on some level, but he's just not ready to dive back into a romantic relationship with her. He may argue that they've been down that road before, and it's probably not the best idea to repeat history. This rejection could be exactly what Sharon needs to snap out of her fantasy world. If Nick turns her down, will it be the wake-up call that finally helps her realize she's been deluding herself all along? Sharon's breakdown. Will the truth come out? Once Sharon is forced to confront reality, it might be the moment where everything comes crashing down. Could she confess her involvement in framing Daniel out of guilt? The weight of keeping such a dark secret could be enough to push her over the edge. Sharon's bubble is bound to burst eventually, and when it does, it's going to be messy. With Sharon's fantasy life crumbling and her questionable choices coming back to haunt her, The Young and the Restless is about to serve up some serious drama. Will Nick's rejection push Sharon to face the truth, or will her delusions spiral even further? One thing's for sure, Genoa City is in for some shocking twists. Stay tuned for all the stunning revelations to come.
Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to check some of our other videos. And we hope to see you again in the next video.
The Young and the Restless spoilers. Jack Diane great love story and Allende cast tragedias. Related Jack and Diane love, betrayal, and the wilds of Genoa City in latest Victor Newman drama. Folks, it is not kosher in the Abbott household. There will be fireworks between Jack Abbott and his ex-wife Diane Jenkins Abbott. That love is still in there, probably way down deep under all that drama, but they're letting Victor Newman and his puppet mastering ways tear their marriage to shreds. Who's surprised? No one. Oh, and did I mention that Kyle Abbott is up to his dirty deeds, again, betrays even his own parents? Yep, guy can't get a break from some obligatory fucking middle. Soon Victor will be pulling the strings once again, The Young and the Restless spoilers say. This time it wants something from Kyle, and boy is that a pretty juicy offer to set more drama in motion within her family. Is Victor going to have Kyle steal another Jabot product? Worse, is he using Kyle as the straw that breaks Jack and Diane's marriage? Kyle is sure that his parents are now more enemies than lovers, and when he makes a pact with Victor it will likely click back on him, and perhaps everyone else, too. Hot water for Daniel. Proof found indirect shifts elsewhere in Genoa City. Daniel Romalotti Jr. is stressing out over something entirely different. Chance Chancellor has found a major piece of evidence in Daniel's apartment, and he is more than eager to tell Summer Newman. Summer will argue to the ends of the earth that Daniel would never hurt Heather Stevens. Ridiculous, right? Wrong. There's still her uneasy feeling with this case. Everything is definitely amiss, and Daniel must be in so unbelievably over his head right now. With the walls closing in, Daniel appears increasingly like a man headed for handcuffs. Fear is real, and so distressed Sharon makes clever moves to delive data as Daniel's life is crumbling to pieces. Sharon Newman smiles that twisted smirk of hers, and she couldn't be happier. It was working, for the time being. However, this is The Young and the Restless after all. Nobody gets to scheme in peace for long. Sharon is going to get caught sooner or later, we bet. She thinks she did, but there are always twists and turns in Leaf. Because it wouldn't be a soap without an old-fashioned bombshell, right? So, buckle up. Why and her fans between Kyle and his risky decisions, Jack and Diane's marriage crumbling apart, Daniel getting into trouble with the law, and Sharon playing a dark game. Genoa City is up to its climax of drama this week. Well, you should be looking forward to this. Shit is about to hit the messy fan.
Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to check some of our other videos. And we hope to see you again in the next video.
The Young and the Restless spoilers. Billy and Sally heat up. Will their decorating date turn into a steamy sleepover? Billy and Sally's flirty new project. Well, it looks like The Young and the Restless is setting the stage for some serious sparks between Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra. With Billy moving into a new place, what better way to get Sally involved than to ask for her expert design skills? After all, she's got a background in interior design, even though her heart eventually took her back to the fashion world. But when Billy trusts Sally's judgment and invites her over for a little decor advice, it's more than just the walls that might get a fresh coat of excitement. Chemistry behind closed doors. Y and her fans know that when two attractive ex-partners like Billy and Sally are thrown together, especially in a private setting, it's a recipe for some steamy moments. Whether Sally's there to help pick out the perfect couch or give pointers on paint, we're betting the chemistry is going to erupt. Will they stop at just some harmless decorating tips, or are we in for a passionate hookup on the very sofa Sally helped him choose? The tension is real, and we know why, and her loves to surprise us. Will this be the start of something more? If this rendezvous at Billy's new pad turns into something more, it could be the beginning of a whole new romantic chapter for Sally. Sure, some viewers were heartbroken when she split from Adam Newman, but others are ready to see her move forward, and Billy might just be the guy to help her do that. He's been stuck in his own complicated web with Chelsea Lawson, but Sally's influence could finally help him let go of his past. Are we sensing the start of Bally as the next hot couple in Genoa City? What's next for Sally and Billy? Once Sally and Billy share some alone time, it could become harder for them to resist their growing feelings. Will this interior design project lead to a passionate encounter that marks a turning point in their relationship? It sure seems like we're headed in that direction, and if they do cross that line, it'll leave fans wondering, is this just a one-time thing, or are we watching the beginning of a sizzling new romance? Whatever happens, it's clear that Sally is moving on from Adam, and Billy might be the perfect guy to help her turn the page. The Young and the Restless spoilers promise plenty of romantic twists and turns ahead, so keep an eye on this duo as their connection heats up.
Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to check some of our other videos. And we hope to see you again in the next video.
Daniel's dilemma: is Sharon really guilty? Michael Graziadei dishes on the drama. It's not easy being Daniel Romalotti Jr. right now, and the Young and the Restless fans are watching as his world unravels. Michael Graziadei, who portrays the embattled character, recently opened up in an interview with Soap Opera Digest about the intense storyline, and it sounds like he's having as much fun playing Daniel as we're having watching him. Daniel's struggles: can he trust Sharon? Daniel's latest nightmare involves the mysterious death of Heather Stevens, and suspicions are swirling around none other than Sharon Newman. According to Graziadei, Daniel isn't ready to believe Sharon had anything to do with Heather's fate, even though the evidence is mounting. He's holding out hope, giving her the benefit of the doubt, despite the fact that Sharon admitted to being in contact with Heather just before her death. I think that he is still constantly giving her the benefit of the doubt, Graziadei revealed. Daniel doesn't want to believe that someone he trusts could be responsible for such a horrific act. But how long can that last, especially when the pressure keeps building? One take: big emotions. Graziadei admitted that he's faced some anxiety while filming these high-stakes scenes. Soap operas often film quickly, with limited takes, so nailing intense emotions in one shot can be a challenge. But despite the stress, Graziadei says he's enjoying the ride and is grateful for the juicy material the writers have given him. Daniel may be spiraling, but Graziadei's having a blast. Is there more to the story? The actor teased that there might be more to Sharon's role in Heather's death than meets the eye. Though she's involved in the cover-up and the frame-up of Daniel, Graziadei hinted that Sharon might not be the sole guilty party. There's some wiggle room, Graziadei said, noting Sharon's blackout and mental health struggles as potential factors that could clear her at least partially. That wiggle room has us wondering if another twist is coming. Could someone else have played a role in Heather's death? Graziadei's careful wording, referring to the person responsible rather than specifically naming Sharon, seems to suggest that the true culprit might still be out there, waiting to shock everyone. Daniel's future: a forgiveness he can't imagine. Right now, Daniel's stuck in a whirlpool of grief and anger, but Graziadei joked about how unpredictable soap storylines can be. While Daniel is adamant that he'll never forgive the person responsible for Heather's death, Graziadei chuckled at the irony, suggesting, 6 months from now, I could be married to that person. Though it's a light-hearted comment, it highlights the ever-changing nature of soap operas where love, betrayal, and redemption are always on the table. Could there be an unexpected twist in Daniel and Sharon's relationship? Only time will tell. What's next for Daniel? Daniel's world is falling apart, but as Graziadei said, it's tough to predict where the story is going. Could Sharon be innocent after all? Is there another villain lurking in Genoa City? Whatever happens, it's clear that Daniel's road to resolution is going to be filled with more drama and likely more devastating news. The Young and the Restless spoilers promise even more chaos ahead, so buckle up. Daniel's story is far from over, and the twists and turns are sure to keep fans on the edge of their seats.
Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to check some of our other videos. And we hope to see you again in the next video.
The Young and the Restless spoilers drama in Genoa City, week of October 21st to 25th. Things are heating up in Genoa City, and Victor Newman is back to doing what he does best, ordering his family around like chess pieces. During the week of October 21st to 25th, The Young and the Restless spoilers revealed that Victor will continue to expect absolute obedience from Adam Newman or else, but how long can Adam keep towing the line before snapping? Adam's loyalty is about to be stretched to the max. He's not keen on Victor's idea of targeting Jack Abbott and his family, especially when it involves Kyle Abbott and the shenanigans surrounding Glissade and Jabot. This could land Adam in some seriously awkward situations where he has to decide between keeping Daddy Dearest happy or doing what's right. Spoiler: doing what's right has never been Adam's strong suit. Speaking of Kyle Abbott, he's clearly embracing his villain era. Victor's newest deal might push Kyle even further into the dark side, maybe sabotaging Jack and Diane Jenkins Abbott's marriage or, who knows, stealing from Jabot again. Kyle's transformation into a full-fledged baddie could backfire, though. What will Claire Newman think when she sees her hubby slipping further down the rabbit hole? She's already noticed some red flags, and this new sneaky behavior could be the last straw. Meanwhile, over at Abbott Chancellor, Billy Abbott's head is about to explode. Jill Abbott's ultimatum is hanging over him, and Phyllis Summers is not about to back down from her position either. In fact, she might try to strike a deal with Jill. Phyllis could promise to get Billy to rehire Lily Winters in exchange for keeping her job. It sounds like a Phyllis special acting as a peacemaker when, let's be honest, she's really just stirring the pot. Billy's flat out said there's no way he's bringing Lily back, but if Jill keeps pushing, he may have no choice. It's either work with Lily or hit the unemployment line. Over on the legal front, Daniel Romalotti Jr. is digging in his heels and swearing up and down that he's innocent of causing Heather Stevens' demise. But Sharon Newman isn't buying it and is doubling down on trying to frame him. Yet, with Chance Chancellor poking holes in Sharon's story, her plan could unravel faster than we expect. Could Sharon finally get caught in one of her own webs? And let's not forget Summer Newman, who might team up with Phyllis for a little mother-daughter detective work to help clear Daniel's name. Nothing brings a family together like a criminal investigation, right? Stay tuned because The Young and the Restless spoilers say the week of October 21st to 25th will be packed with surprises, drama, and plot twists that you won't want to miss.
Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to check some of our other videos. And we hope to see you again in the next video.